talking and tweeting business in Torbay and South Devon. This is the TorbayHour radio show.
So good evening, welcome along. It's just after 8 o'clock. We are talking and tweeting business in Torbay and South Devon. It is the world exclusive TorbayHour radio show. Martin started grinning.
Oh, of course.
In fact, Martin started grinning. It's a brace of Martins in the studio tonight, because we also have Martin McIver with us, and we're going to be talking search engine optimization. Don't worry, we're going to demystify the term. That's going to be our key objective tonight. We're all going to find out how to search engine optify. If that's the right word. Probably isn't. No, it's not. No. Certainly isn't. Right. Also, of course, normal business. We have our 140-second pitch, a chance for a business to promote themselves unashamedly for 140 seconds. We've also got our account of the week. We'll find out what's been going on business-wise across Torbay and South Devon as well. If you have any questions, or if you have anything which you think Torbay and South Devon's business community needs to know, you can get in touch. And the easiest way of doing that is via Twitter. Martin will give us the details.
There's hashtag TorbayHour or at Torbay_hour.
It's that simple,
it's
really.
That easy.
It is that easy. How has the week been, business-wise? How are we doing?
It's been a crazy week. We passed our 5,000 followers just over the weekend, so thank you everyone for following us. We love you all. Lots of work going on the conference as well, so there's all that going on, and loads of other things going on in the background. We've got such a busy year this year.
Right. Can we tease some of those out of you a little bit later?
Maybe we'll see how quiet it gets.
We'll give you some cookies. You never know.
There you go.
Yeah. Big thanks to the girls downstairs on that one for providing the cookies tonight. You evil temptresses. We also, of course, have music from some of the Devon acts that have been getting in touch. If you are a musician, what we like to do is make sure the music we play on the show is exclusively from Devon-based acts. So, if you're in a band or maybe you're a singer, get in touch, and you never know, we could be playing your music next week. Again, drop the guys a message via the TorbayHour website, and you never know, it could be your songs on the show next week. Right, have we got any early doors tweeters happening tonight?
We do. South Hams Hour, they've tweeted already, pointing out that they've moved. So if you do follow South Hams Hour, they've moved from Fridays to Wednesdays. So 8:30 till 9:30, overlapping with Devon Hour. So if you're in South Hams, you want to do business over there, then give him a message.
So what's on telly on Friday nights then that's that good that they've moved?
Not a lot at the moment, I don't think.
You never know. Well, anyway, right. So let's. I tell you what. Let's talk to Martin straight away. We've got Martin McIver with us. Martin, what is your Twitter account?
My Twitter account is Martin_McIver.
Just as easy as that.
That's it. There it is. Just my name. Nice and simple.
Now, search engine optimization, SEO. Does this mean that you are a nerd or a geek?
Probably. How do you define the two? I would go probably 50-50.
Right.
I don't want to exclude either.
Okay, fair enough. Now, search engine optimization, what we're talking about is where presumably it's your Google rankings. Other search engines are available, but you're ranking on the particular search engine you use where you appear. Yeah.
I mean, search engine optimization is all about optimizing your website so you appear higher up in Google and get more traffic. But it's not just about rankings, it's also about driving the right sort of traffic to your website.
Right.
Also engaging people once they're on your website, making sure they interact with you and even part with their money, really. So it's all about providing users what they're looking for and getting them at the right sort of time in the buy-in cycle, I suppose, really.
Okay, now let's go right back to basics on this. It's easy now. There are companies that advertise on TV where you can basically get a website online with your own domain in 20 minutes flat, and it'll be great. Yep. But that's kind of only half the story, isn't it? Because anyone who's set up a business online will know that the hardest bit is actually then getting the traffic. You frantically search for yourself, and you're sort of on page 17 of the results. In the old days, it used to be using the metadata at the top and actually typing out loads and loads of words, which eventually the web crawlers would pick up on and get round to you.
Yeah.
Presumably, things have moved on in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, Google's algorithm changes on a daily basis.
Now,
so,
is Google basically the de facto standard? Are the Bings and the Yahoos and all of that just kind of also rants?
Yeah, I mean, Google will probably be responsible for upwards of 90% of the traffic driven by the search engines.
Wow.
So Yahoo and Bing are usually following suit with that. I mean, there's been cases where Bing have copied exactly what Google are doing. So if you can please Google, then the others will fall in line. So that's the one you've got to focus on, really.
Right. So you start your website up.
Yep.
And we're going to be selling our infamous widgets that we always use as our kind of test thing.
Good standard, yep.
Right, so widget.com has started, and we're now realising we're not appearing. What do we need to do?
Well, you need to include the keywords in that. I mean, you think about the customer's journey, really. What keywords would they be looking for to find your services and business? Try that in Google, have a look and see what comes up, see if your competitors are ranking there for those keywords. If that's the case, then you need to place those keywords within your website. So,
okay, now keywords, just so we can demystify the whole thing. The keywords are the things which relate to your business. So if it's we can't really use widgets in this. If it was golf clubs, for example, then it would be things like golf, clubs, balls, bag, green.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. Yeah, they're just key phrases and that you would use in Google to find what you're looking for. And they can be one word like golf, it can be 10 words, but obviously the longer the strain of the words is, the less traffic you will get for that. But people are further along that buying cycle as well. So that's something to remember.
Okay. So we've got our list of... Now, how many words can you have as... is it restricted at all?
In your meta descriptions and page titles, you're restricted by Google of how many you can have in that, and that changes on a regular basis.
Right. Presumably if you pay more, you can have more.
No, not so much, because it's not. That's through paid advertising with Google, but the organic stuff is you don't pay anything for. You just everyone gets the same amount of characters and that sort of thing. So it's your chance to advertise your business when it pops up. So for the titles, for example, you get a limited amount of characters. So you want to make your pages relevant for whatever people are looking for. So like I said, if you are selling widgets and you're selling blue widgets and that page is about blue widgets, you want your page titles and your meta descriptions to reflect the content of that page.
Now, is this something which you still have to do? You still have to make sure that metadata is there?
Yeah, it's a good practice too, because when you're in Google and you're using results and you do a search, for example, for blue widgets, and your website comes up, that's your shot to entice the user onto your website. So the more appealing you can make that, the more enticing, the more chance you have of them coming through to your website, and obviously the higher up it is as well. So for example, numbers get a good click-through rate. Click-through rate is when people click through to your website. Numbers are quite good, and people don't tend to use that in their meta descriptions very often. Also, good call to actions.
Any number? What pricing?
I mean, pricing, telephone number, something like that. Something because it draws the eye. Compared to a lot of other listings will have just text, so you've got to think outside the box. Essentially, look at what your competitors are doing and how can you set yourself apart from them. Really,
do your entire site in binary.
You could do that, yeah. I don't think you get many. Probably robots would click through, but not an awful lot of people. It's got to be relevant to what they're looking for, really.
Right. Okay.
But yeah. I think anything that sort of sets yourself apart from everybody else doing the same thing, it's got to be a good thing.
Okay. So blue widgets. That's what we're going to flog. We've got loads and loads of information relating to blue widgets at the top of the page. Does it happen automatically from there?
In what way? I mean,
do you have to do anything else? Do you have to submit that information to Google or to other search engine providers?
Not really. I mean, it used to be so much that Google would you'd have to submit your website to Google, but Google's pretty sharp on that sort of thing now. So we'll pick your website up. If you're linking to and from other domains, or you've got a Twitter account, for example, then Google does crawl all those links on a regular basis. So once it hits your website, it will start indexing the content and that you've put on there. And that's why keyword placement is so important for each page. So if you have got a page about blue widgets, you want to make sure the content on that website, on that page, is about blue widgets and it's relevant. And then if you've got another page about red widgets, you do a page about that. So you want one key phrase per page, which will help you target the areas or products that you want to target more. So if you're doing regional stuff, for example, if you want to target Torquay or Paignton or Brixham, then you incorporate those keywords into the relevant pages.
So does this go back to the fundamental stage of designing the website, where the layout of the site, the information and everything that's on it, is you have to plan it from the start? Otherwise you could end up where you design a great website and then it's all wrong from an SEO point of view.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I've worked with clients before in the past, and they've had websites built, and the designers do an amazing job at the website, but it's not structurally sound. So you've got to have a hierarchy of what your website's about, and then it's got to be broken down into subsections based on that. So you've got to think about how the website's going to look in the menu, the navigation, and that sort of thing. And you've got to consider your end user at the end of the day. Although it's great doing what Google wants, it's the customer that's going to pay the bills. So you've got to keep them happy. It's got to be relevant, it's got to be informative, engaging, and Google loves all that. The more tweets and likes and social mentions you get, the more credible your business is seen from whatever you're trying to promote, really.
Right, we're talking search engine optimization. If you have a question, if you want to talk to Martin McIver, then you can do. All you need to do is post us a message via Twitter. Hashtag TorbayHour is the easiest way of doing that. We've got another 49 minutes left in which for you to do that. So get in touch. We can try and answer your questions tonight. We'll make sure you've got all of Martin's contact details as well. Time for the first of our songs. This one from Clara Bond. Emailed me this earlier on tonight. It's a great song, title track from her EP. It's Focus on the TorbayHour radio show.
Flying high, never looking down. Nothing ties me to the ground. It's so familiar to me. Do you see what I see? I know what you need. Finally, cloudy days are nothing to me. Windows down and you're right there, focus. Music loud so you don't even notice when I get the words wrong. To our soul, cloudy days are nothing to me. Feet on the dash and we can't stop laughing. Realized in the same old fashion, this is what we live for. Cloudy days are nothing to me. James Dean with the fake ID, outside of reality. It's so familiar to me. Do you see what I see? I know what you need. Finally, cloudy days are nothing to me. Windows down and you're right there, focus. Music loud so you don't even notice when I get the words wrong. To our soul, cloudy days are nothing to me. Feet on the dash and we can't stop laughing. Realized in the same old fashion, this is what we live for. Cloudy days are nothing to me. Let the skies break, let the rain fall. Let the skies break, let the rain fall. Cloudy days are nothing to me. Windows down and you're right there, focus. Music loud so you don't even notice when I get the words wrong. To our soul, cloudy days are nothing to me. Feet on the dash and we can't stop laughing. Realized in the same old fashion, this is what we live for. Cloudy days are nothing to me.
Clara Bond and Focus on the TorbayHour radio show. Absolutely sensational. The rest of the EP is brilliant as well. There is so much good talent musically in Torbay and South Devon. In fact, Devon as a whole, really. So if you want to find out anything more about any of the acts, I always tweet their handles, their names, so you can find out more about them if you want to book them for anything or if you want to get in touch. All the details are on the TorbayHour if you follow the hashtag. Martin, talking of the TorbayHour, sorry, we got two Martins. So
The ugly one and the good-looking one. I'll let you decide which one's which.
All right, we might have to tweet a photograph of that. And we could do, retweet for one, favourite for the other.
Well, yeah.
Let's not get into that.
I don't want to fall out with
No, I was going to say.
Yeah, and don't forget people of TorbayHour who reads your tweets.
Yes. Right, what's going on the hour?
Right, so Taekwondo Torbay, welcome along. They usually tweet, but they're not usually with us. So they found a gap in their teaching schedule, so they're joining along and promoting their Taekwondo lessons.
Woohoo!
So get going to that. Bit of self-defence, bit of fitness, it's all good. Doorstep Arts, they had a bit of trouble over the weekend. They had a fire in their London HQ, but they are going ahead with their plays and everything else as well, which I believe was going on up there. So good luck with that, guys. Hope it all goes well for you. People of Devon, they're asking what was the best outdoor activity you've done in Devon? Walking on Dartmoor. It's easy.
It's cheap as well.
It's cheap. It's easy.
Yeah.
And you get the best views in the whole world. At Southwest Holidays, they're gearing up to launch their new site, so I've told them they better be listening. So if you're not listening, I'm going to find out, because we're talking to Martin about SEO. So if you're launching your new site, then this is definitely the show to listen to.
Easy as that. Right, okay. We are talking SEO now. If you just tuned in, this is not a senior executive officer post or anything like that. We're talking search engine optimization. So this is the process by which your website, which looks amazing, suddenly gets to a bigger audience, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Now, we've talked about the fundamentals of you set up your site. You've got to come up with some keywords that relate to your business, to whatever that is. And basically then the search engines crawl all over your site, pull out the best bits, and then refer other people to it.
Yeah. I mean, there's if you're using your keywords and that on the website, you want to use them in the titles for the pages and that sort of thing, in the URL structure as well, which is the website address for that page.
Oh, no, that's an important point, because quite often some of these web designer packages will just give it a number, won't they? So it'll be widget.com 1357 blah blah blah.
Yeah. I mean, you see that a lot on the bespoke CMS systems, CMS models, where people buy these websites ready to go live, excellent, and then their URL structure is totally irrelevant to the page. So from Google's perspective and your user's perspective, if you see a domain that's www.holidaysindevon.co.uk and then it's /P113416, it's not enticing you to that page. It doesn't really reflect the content of that page. So you want to have more control over that and include keywords in that. So it helps the search engines and users know what that page is about.
Now, you mentioned earlier on as well about social media and including that in there.
Yeah.
So do the search engines look at the whole thing, and are they clever enough to work out that your Twitter ID or Facebook page or whatever it is associated with your website and then ties the two together when it gives a Google result?
Yeah, I mean, Google's insanely clever, really. It will look at your website and you can set up your Twitter account and everything so people can like your page and website and that sort of thing. And all these social signals and likes that you get added to your website, if your friends and that like certain things and you're part of the Google network and you're joined in to sign into your account, it will pull other people's suggestions and that forward through. So they think, well, you like Dave likes this might be relevant for what you're looking for. So it's insanely clever. There's so many, over 200 social signals going through Google at the moment that they all pull in on from social media and Facebook and Twitter and all that sort of thing. And it's insane, really. They sort of know you better than you do sometimes. It's scary because they do predictive searches. So if you start typing keywords, you'll put in, say, holidays in, and then it'll come up with suggestions for most searched keywords and that sort of thing. So that it tries to predict what you want and deliver it for you.
So I always thought that was based on your just filling out auto history.
That does include one element. Yeah. Your search history is part of that.
Right.
So you have to be careful, obviously, what you're searching for. There's been to clients and they're like, oh, I forgot to delete the history. Sorry about that. So it can be a bit awkward, but it does. Yeah, I mean, there's so many factors in that Google pulls into that. I mean, especially with mobile searching now, more and more people are using their mobiles to search for websites. So that's why it's more and more important that your website is responsive, or at least works on mobile phones. Because we were talking about earlier, people use their mobile phones when they're watching TV, when they're just sat down, when they're in bed and that sort of thing. So it's important that all that's geared up towards that. But if you search in Google, it also takes in your location. So if I'm searching for storage, for example, it will assume that I'm looking for somewhere local because of where I'm based.
Right.
So it uses the GPS signals in that and pulls out relevant searches to where you're based, or if you're looking for coffee, it will pull in local restaurants and that sort of thing. There's no point showing me something in London. I'm not going to go all the way to London, no matter how good the coffee is.
So does this then make it important that the geographical place of your business is registered on the Google Maps thing as well?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, if you can set up a Google business page and you've got your fixed address on your website, it all reinforces that you're a legitimate business, that you've got an operating premises and that sort of thing. Because, I mean, anyone can set up a website from their bedroom. But if you've got a physical address, you know, it shows that you're investing money into that sort of thing, and it just makes it a little bit more tangible from Google's perspective, and your customers as well. If they're looking for furniture, they know that they can do that, and they can come in and have a look at what you've got rather than just rely on a website.
Do you have to be careful, because there are horror stories about certain words or words that included swear words as part of them in the early days of the internet? Do you have to be careful about the kind of information that you put in the top, so that you're not then filtered out as a result of, you know, some kind of inappropriate content filter?
Yeah, I mean, not so much. I mean, Google's quite advanced now, so it knows if you're using abusive context or swear words or that sort of thing. So I don't think anyone in their right minds would do that just to get attention. I mean, you can get negative attention, and that's not always a good thing. So I think as long as you keep it relevant to your users and what you're actually promoting, there should be no need for anything like that. It certainly won't stop you from getting where you want to go with that.
Now, all this information, I mean, this is obviously a fairly new industry in itself, and it is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Is the kind of information that you need to stay on top of this readily available, or is it something which you need to... Do you become like a doctor of SEOing and get special privileges?
I wouldn't say special privileges, no. I mean, Google's very clever. I mean, it's got its paid search, which it's very open to, and it's very wants to help people because they generate a lot of income from that. So they want to provide relevance to their customers at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. So SEO is a bit more of a mystical process. There's no guidelines, as it were, no easy fire way from Google of how to get to the number one spot. It's got to be relevant. So we use Google's basis for relevance across all SEO platforms, and there's certain things you can do, and it's tried and tested and that sort of thing. So there is a sort of an idea of what you can do, but there's no hard and fast rules. But just think about the end user. I mean, that's the best advice I can give, really. Keep it relevant and think about the end user.
Are Google getting too intelligent for their own good?
Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, they're taking so much information and they're doing so much with it. It's scary what they can and can't do now. And they're constantly evolving. I mean, their local search and that sort of thing is constantly evolving, so they're trying to define neighbourhoods as well, rather than just based on your local proximity via your phone. So it's trying to always stay ahead of what you might want, and it's so far advanced with that. There's so many changes, and it happens all the time. You're really kept on your toes. But I mean, having said that, there are websites you can go to and research this sort of thing, and forums on blogs and communities and that you can belong to. And it's not difficult to learn. It's just constantly evolving. You just have to constantly stay on top of it. I mean, since I've been doing it, we've seen so many dramatic changes and so many fluctuations. But that's all part of the fun, you know. It's keeping me on my toes, you know. The people that don't have that passion, they get left behind because they're not interested in staying on top of it. So, you know, it's ace. And the people in the SEO community are very supportive and that sort of thing, and they're quite open about what they are doing, you know. And the ones that give it a bad name tend to drop off after a while. You know, you can't sustain a long-term business model if you're fake. So.
Brilliant. Yeah. We're talking SEO, search engine optimization. Martin McIver is in the studio with us. If you want to get in touch, if you've got any questions about how you can make your website appear higher up the Google rankings or other search engines, then you can get in touch. Hashtag TorbayHour, and you will get straight through to us. It is the TorbayHour radio show. It is a world exclusive as well, brought to you by the Babbacombe Inn and their ongoing party nights, plus other things as well. Do you know, I think it's time for one of these.
The 140-second pitch. Sponsored by Torbay Discount Card. Torbay's community discount card.
Okay, the 140-second pitch. What we've done is we've taken the concept of 140 characters. We've turned them into seconds, and we give 140 seconds to you to promote your business. And tonight's 140-second pitcher, your starts now.
Okay, my business is going through a whole rebranding, as I mentioned right now, from what exists now is Torbay Counselling Service, but it will be Janet Astor Counselling, Psychotherapy and Coaching. I offer all three services, as counselling is not for everybody, and equally neither is coaching or psychotherapy, so whichever service really fits you the best. My aim is in supporting people with all kinds of concerns and issues, from bereavement, anxiety, bullying, depression, panic attacks, relationships, to comfort eating, alcohol, and kind of childhood abuse, really, and self-harming. So pretty much, in fact, most things that affect people in life and stop them from being happy, feeling safe or fulfilled, and the most authentic and fabulous version of them possible. I'm happy to talk about whichever service would be best for you. I'm based in Brixham. I offer a free half-hour consultation with absolutely no obligation to continue. I offer clinical supervision courses, workshops which can be tailor-made to suit organisations and for employees or individuals. So if you need training or supervision, then please let's talk. I'm happy to come along and talk to groups about communication, public speaking, and any of the subjects already mentioned. My mission, basically, as I've chosen to take it, is to create positive change in life. And my mission is driven by a passion to empower others. I have a Facebook page. Look for Janet Astor Counselling, Psychotherapy and Coaching, where I share free information, inspirational posts, videos, and all updates on what I'm offering right now. Come along, click like, and join me on this journey of life change, where you'll be most welcome. The reason I know that all of these services work, basically things around self-awareness and personal development, is that they saved my life. So I know that this works because I've experienced all of the things I offer as a client. So although I work with them now, I know how it felt for me at the time, and if I ever feel a need for support, then that's the first thing I'm going to do for my complete and overall well-being. It's not just about body or mind or spirit, it's about all of those things, and emotional well-being is vital for our overall well-being, really. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. So my Twitter account is at Torbay Counselling at present, and I will change that.
Well done, Janet. So all the details to that we will make sure we tweet as well. In fact, we should get into the habit of doing that, tweeting the pictures every week. We'll do it.
Yes, definitely.
Right, Martin, what's going on in the hour?
Right, okay, so we've got a couple of new people joining us at Print Ink Torbay. They do design and print. And Rowing Tech is someone I have never seen before. So at Rowing Tech with a K, they're saying get the kids out rowing over Easter with some of their courses. So get your kids doing something a bit different on the water.
So much more that you can do this time of year, isn't it? As soon as you start getting the longer evenings, the clocks go forward. In, what, 2 weeks?
Something
1 week,
like
2
that,
weeks, something like that, isn't it? So we can all start getting out and enjoying the area into the evenings, which makes such a difference.
It
really
lovely.
does. What else we got?
Right, so also about the great big rhinos. So the great big gorillas with Paint and Zoo.
From last year.
A couple of years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, I think now. Next year they're doing great big rhinos, so look out for them popping up all over. I think it's Torbay and Exeter this time. So
naturally they are a bigger beast.
Yes. Just wait for elephants and then blue whales, and then it'll just go crazy. A bit of a quick update on Elsie's Fund, who we were talking about last week.
Yes, of course.
Things seem to be happening there. I saw in the paper today that they are starting work on the property, so if you can help with anything like that, then please do.
If you missed this last week, it's a story. It's an old lady. Oh, that's really bad, isn't it? Sorry, a senior citizen, Elsie, had a fire. She was uninsured. She lost absolutely everything. So thanks to the generosity of people in Torbay and South Devon, certainly offers of help for the rebuilding. There's money coming as well. They this time last week it was around about £3,000, wasn't it?
I think it's closer to 5,000
so
now.
£5,000. So big thank you to everyone on that.
Yeah, and I know furniture's starting to get collected for her as well. So things are definitely happening with that. So well done, everybody. Keep the support coming in for her, really.
Brilliant. Have we got any questions about search engine optimization?
We do, yeah. Boost Torbay have been on. He's asking how long does it take for organic SEO to take effect, and when do I start seeing results?
Oh, that's an interesting question. A lot of clients ask that. That really depends on your website, when Google indexes it, really. Most agencies that I've worked with in the past tend to say about 6 months, because there's no hard or fast rule with that. Usually the results start showing a lot quicker. but it depends on a lot of factors like how competitive your industry is. I mean, if you're trying to target credit cards, for example, it could be months before you see any sort of progression onto the first page. Depends on the structure of the website. So there's so many variables on that. There always isn't a hard, fast results. But I mean, for anybody who's looking at starting doing an SEO campaign, start benchmarking before you do any work. So go through, have a look at the keywords you want to target and start reporting on them, and then at least you've got something to refer to, so you know what you're doing is either working or working for you or working against you.
You dropped so much jargon in there which we need to cover.
I'm so sorry.
No, because we'll do it in a moment, so hold fire, but we need to make note there of an SEO campaign, because we need to think about that. I also want to touch on the AdWords and the difference that'll make, and also the research and the reporting on the other words as well. So we will do all of that soon. However, it is time for another of our songs. Now, last week on the show we had representation from the Lost Sound Chorus, and they had a gig on Saturday night. Actually, I'd like them to get in touch because they're raising money for HITS, which is the support for the food banks in Teignbridge, and they were raising money on Saturday night, if memory serves right.
That sounds about right.
I would like them to get in touch and tell me how much money they raised on Saturday. So if you are listening from the Lost Sound Chorus, get in touch, tell us how you did.
I don't know why.
We like that, the Lost Sound Chorus, Stormy Weather. And you're very lucky you didn't hear the attempted barbershop trio in the studio trying to sing along to that one. That's exactly why we're not in the Lost Sound Chorus. They've been in touch, they've responded How much did they raise?
They raised about 600 quid. They got described as bonkers by the mayor and got 2 standing ovations. So I think all in all, it was a successful night.
Fantastic. So well done to you. 600 quid going to Hits in Teambridge, which is wonderful. It is the TorbayHour radio show with the Babacom Inn in Babacom, strangely enough. Big thank you to them and all the sponsors of this show. This is, we've been saying this and we kind of sort of jump over it. This is a world first, isn't it? A Twitter hour related radio show.
As far as we're aware, we don't know anyone else doing this.
That's right. So if you're taking part in something pretty exclusive, which is great, but we need more people to know. So it's your mission this week to tell one friend, and well, you can tell as many as you like actually, but if you just tell at least one, make sure they're listening next week as well, because it's organic growth, I guess. Is that the right time? I'm learning it right.
That's it.
Organic growth. That will mean that the sum of all the parts being more than the blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. We just want to get bigger. It's as easy as that.
That's everyone's goal in life.
That's
isn't it,
right.
to be
That's
bigger.
right. Well, yeah, I'm trying to shed a few at the moment, but
That's why we had so many cakes.
Yes,
At
that's
the
why.
beginning, we did it wrong.
Now, we're talking search engine optimization. Martin McIver is in the studio with us. We are... I'm gradually learning. Probably there's people learning a lot quicker than me. We were talking about SEO campaigns, targeted SEO campaigns, which I need to get to the bottom of. I also want to understand the difference. Now, presumably, if we touch on AdWords right now, this is where Google sell you the chance of a lifetime to spend some money and presumably jump over everything else which you're doing.
Yeah.
Is that
I
the
mean,
case?
Yeah, I mean, Google has the paid advertising at the top of the page and down the right-hand side. And those are adverts that you can set up a campaign, which is essentially predefined adverts based on keywords. So if people search for blue widgets, you can get your advert to appear at the top. You can try different titles and different call to actions and that sort of thing. And then you pay each time someone clicks on one of these adverts and goes to your website.
Okay.
So you've got to have a budget in advance to be able to do this. And as soon as you stop spending money on these adverts, traffic stops coming to your website. So,
does it also affect where you appear? Because I actually did pay for some Google AdWords a few years ago.
Right, okay.
And I was blissfully unaware that these things were appearing at the top and at the side. I was just expecting me to be higher up in the list.
No.
And when I look at a Google, my mind doesn't take me to the bits at the top and the side.
No.
I just look for the list of stuff in the middle.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people say that to me, that they've sort of block those out, they're aware of them, but they just ignore them. It's so. I think that's something you need to be aware of. I mean, you can run the two together, which is great, and the paid advertising suggests that your page becomes more relevant, that we've talked about before. And the more relevant it is for those keywords to the landing page you're taking people, which is the page they'll end up on, the lower your cost per click goes down. So it's a cost-saving exercise for you, and the more relevant you are for those terms, your organic listings should increase as well. But then they're not related. You can't pay for those organic listings to come up. You don't run the two together, or you can run the two together, but they're not connected as per se like that.
Now, one of the things which has just occurred to me while we're talking, Google are advertising all the time about their speech recognition and the fact that you can talk to Google and get it to tell you you can say, Google, go and find me whatever, and it'll do it. Now, presumably, if your widget-based website is full of jargon, the speech recognition thing is going to struggle to find that. So is it a case you need to keep it simple so that the system can work with what you've got? Yeah,
I mean, there's different tiers. I mean, like we touched on before, you've got to consider your customer and the journey and that sort of thing. So if you are doing something highly technical, for example, so testing GPS equipment or something like that, then you've got to consider your target market. So you've probably got engineers that understand the technical side of the aspects and that sort of thing. So it's them you want to target. But if you're marketing trainers or running shoes, then you want to be relevant for people looking for a particular brand or particular size and that sort of thing. So it's all about considering your customer journeys and what they're going to be looking for, really. So although Google can make rough estimations and suggestions based on things you say and keywords you search for, they'll find other relevant terms. It's not as advanced or as accurate as it can be. So, consider your user, really.
Right, and presumably as that recognition technology improves and we get to the point where we're talking to Zen and Orag, that's dated me, isn't it? Blake 7. Oh dear, oh dear. But anyway, as it gets better, then we'll be able to increase the sort of technical aspect of the keywords that are on there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it should get more and more evolved, and as that happens, then you can move with that. But I mean, there'll always be people starting off at the base of the industry that will know that information, and if you catch them early on, you can build a relationship with them. So it sort of goes beyond just SEO. It's all about engagement and building a relationship with customers and clients and keeping them long term.
Okay. Search engine optimization is what we're talking tonight. If you have any more questions, then get in touch. Martin McIver can help you out tonight. We won't even charge you. There's no.
That's amazing.
Oh, really?
You're not going to charge anyone.
No, not at all.
That's incredible. Don't be shy then. Come on, give us a call.
Get in touch. The easiest way of doing that is via the hashtag TorbayHour. Martin, what's coming in on the feed tonight?
Right. Okay. So, eclipse on Friday. 9:30 in the morning. There's going to be an eclipse. Disco junctures all over it.
So it'll get light and then get dark again.
Yeah. Because it's going to be too cloudy to actually see anything. But, it's kind of exciting. I remember the last time it happened.
Oh, do you know, there's a missed opportunity for someone. If you own a private airline, fly people above the clouds to go and witness the eclipse.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
All you got to do, you charter a plane. If you want to see the eclipse, you go up in a plane.
I wonder if
Go
Virtual
above the
Jet can
clouds.
do something like that. We've got Virtual Jet
Well,
to
yeah, I
join
know,
us.
but it's,
Yeah,
it's not going to work, is it? No. Anyway, yes, moving on.
Moving on.
So I have so many ideas that we should capitalise on during the show.
Yeah.
If you're a millionaire listening and you want to get involved, please let us know.
You should start writing these down. You could be a
that's
millionaire
right.
this time.
Well,
next year.
we've got to work quickly, haven't we? It's
Yeah,
happening on
exactly.
Friday.
It's fine. It's all available on YouTube. We don't need a pen. At AC Print, they're promoting their promotional banners and pull-up banners. So if you're looking for something like that for your networking, then get in touch with them. MJ Ent's Mob Disco. They're promoting their retro nights and their reunions. They love doing them. Nice 80s nights.
Do you know, the 80s nights, generally, it's like when you think that the 80s nights, well, I mean, okay, it was when we were all growing up, but even so, if you go to an 80s night, still loads of young people. What is it about the 80s music which is so uniquely great?
No, 90s.
No one goes to Naughty Night. Well, actually, they probably do, but that's something entirely different.
Yeah.
You don't get loads and loads of sort of 2000s based nights, do you?
That's
it's always
true.
80s nights.
And people in 80s nights never dress like people did in the 80s. It's always neon leg warmers, and I don't see anyone in the 80s wearing that sort
No, I
of
don't
stuff.
remember that. It was
Don't pretend you weren't around.
There was loads of new romantics. You had the blues on jackets and the pencil thin
Shoulder
ties,
pads
shoulder
and
pads. Yeah,
crazy hair.
Well, that's good. Some of us can't pull the hair thing off now without a wig. Anyway, sorry, we digressed massively there.
And at Torbay Trojans, Torbay's very own American football team. If you fancy doing a bit of American football, then get in touch
Back
with
to
them.
the shoulder pads again.
Back to the shoulder pads. There you go, 80s shoulder pads.
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite enough. And while I'm on a sporting theme, I have to say congratulations to Brixton Rugby Club winning the Devon Cup on Saturday, the first time in something like 83 years. Well done,
amazing.
guys. It was a great match. Great, and congratulations to Newton Abbot Rugby Club as well. The atmosphere there was amazing. They did a really good job and kept everyone very, very happy.
Congratulations to Extra as well, through to the LV Cup final as well.
Ah, there we
This
go.
weekend.
It's a good, and congratulations England Rugby for beating the Scots.
Anything else? Go on, getting away from sport.
Right, okay. Let's find a few things. So Gavlar Health, he's new tonight, so give him a follow. And then we've also got, well, we're tweeting a lot about our conference, and if we're not, then I need to sack James.
We will
but
talk at the conference very soon.
Yeah, we'll do that later.
Okay. It's time for the final one of our songs tonight. We're going old school. We're going back to last year. One of the songs which we launched the show with, actually. It's a great tune from a chap who recorded here at the Music Mill, a guy called Scott Adey. This is brilliant. It's Welcome to the 21st Century.
There's greenbacks, paybacks, and nothing but tailbacks. Petrols and your diesels burning so-called green fuels. Do you see the 12-year-old smoking cigarettes? Does her mother know? Or does she care? 'Cause it's all just for show. Welcome to the 21st century. Don't worry, it's all just for show. show. Welcome to the 21st century. It's all burning, and I thought that you'd want to know. Are you liberated? Now it's decimated. Doesn't feel like home. It's gonna take a teacher, not a faith preacher, to make it feel like home. Feel like home. There are bulls and bears and vacant stares from the young and the old. We have holy wars and teenage whores. Do their fathers know? Or do they care? 'Cause it's all just for show. Welcome to the 21st century. Don't worry, it's all just for show. Welcome to the 21st century. It's still burning, and it's all that you need to know. Are you liberated? Emancipated? Doesn't feel like home. It's gonna take a teacher, but not a faith preacher, to make it feel like home. Is it the educated or the liberated? Feel like home. Feel like home. Are you liberated? Now it's decimated. It doesn't feel like home. It's gonna take a teacher, but not a faith preacher, to make it feel like home. Is it the educated or the liberated that make it feel like home? Feel like home.
Talking and tweeting business in Torbay and South Devon. This is the TorbayHour radio show.
Certainly is, thanks to the Babacom Inn and their ongoing party nights through the year. We talk and we tweet business. If you think it's relevant to the business community of Torbay and South Devon, let us know and we can get it on the show. And in fact, if you fancy coming onto the show as a guest, if you've got something you want to talk about, then get in touch during the week, and you never know, it could be you. It's unbelievably coming around to 10 to 9. We said to Martin before we started the show, what tends to happen is we go through the first quarter of an hour and you're thinking, it's going quite slowly, and all of a sudden you go, it's 10 to 9, what's happened? It's happened again.
Crazy. It's gone so quick. It's
It
crazy.
really has. We're talking search engine optimization. It is a fairly sort of technical subject, isn't it? But it's something that if you're running a website from a commercial point of view, you just have to be aware of. Either that or get a consultant like yourself in to look after it.
Yeah, I mean, very much so. I mean, there's certain principles now that anyone can do themselves. I think it's any business owner should at least be aware of it. Even if they decide not to do it themselves, just so they're not being misled by agencies or...
I get more SEO spam emails, I think, than any other subject.
Usually from India. Yeah,
I have no idea where they're from because I never read them.
I get them as well. I mean, people send me emails saying they can get me number one on Google and do that sort of thing. But it's it's very, very tempting to do that, but it's usually not a long-term strategy. The last thing you want to do is get the number one position and then have your website blacklisted by Google, because they will do that or hit you with a penalty, and then you just disappear from all known search engines.
Is it a kind of forgotten thing that Google is a business in its own right, and they're one of the biggest businesses in the world, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they don't give stuff away for free. There's a commercial motivation to whatever they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about keeping their customers happy at the end of the day. I mean, whether your website's getting traffic or not, it doesn't make any difference to them. They've got to pull out relevant results to their customers, really. So, I mean, that's why with a lot of my customers, I don't say it's just all about Google, because if Google stops sending you traffic, your business is dead overnight. You've got to consider other channels, other avenues, and that sort of thing. And with most websites, I suggest an email sign-up form on the website, so at least you can capture people's email addresses when they've come to your website, and then you can remarket to them via email. So if Google stops sending people, you've still got a back catalogue of email addresses that are people that are interested in what you've got to offer.
And do Google do that just on a kind of like, we'll delete them off the list now kind of basis?
No,
or?
usually you've got to be pretty bad or do something pretty negative to get blocked by Google, but it's not unheard of. You know, you've got to keep Google sweet. You can't do anything too suspicious, you know. But like I said, as long as you're keeping your customers happy, then Google will be fine with that, you know. So don't do anything that you wouldn't approve.
One of the things which you mentioned earlier on was an SEO targeted campaign.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about this. Is this where you decide something you want to promote and then you tailor your search engine optimization to fit that?
Yeah, I mean, really, with SEO, you need to think long term. So there's no quick wins with SEO. It's got to be a long term strategy. So that's part of the campaign, really. Thinking of where you want to be, what elements of your website you want to promote, because it's harder to rank for, say, 2 or 3 keywords than it would be 5 or 6 keywords.
All right.
So if you start with the long tail, which are usually 3, 5, 6 keywords, you can start working towards the smaller keywords. And the smaller keywords have, say, for example, trainers has a lot of search volumes, a lot of people looking for trainers, but they're not at the point of buying. If you've got customers searching for men's size 10 certain brand trainers, they're at the point they're ready to part with their money because they know exactly what they want. They know the colour they want, they know the size they want. So although there's less people searching for that, those are the people you could target for an easier win, really.
Okay.
Because the people looking for trainers might be just looking for research.
I believe that's called the low-hanging fruit.
That would be the low-hanging fruit.
That is the low-hanging
Wow.
fruit.
You've
I
done
am
your
learning.
research. Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Right, okay, so that's basically what we're doing, is you're looking for the quick wins, and that's a targeted campaign.
Yeah,
But
so
as
it's your
part of
foundation.
your long-term strategy.
Yeah, it needs to be your foundation, really, the long tail keywords, and then work towards a more tighter campaign, really. Just try everything, see what works, and then just constantly refine it. So measure and manage everything, really.
Okay. Now, let's because we're kind of getting towards the end of the hour here. If someone is just thinking, this is just so much, you know, I've got to get a web designer in to design my website to make sure it's absolutely right. Now I need to get in an SEO guy to make sure that's right. Is this an expensive process? Is it something which a web designer would generally have a partner like you that would come in and do this kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, very much. It depends really on what your objectives are, what your budgets are. I mean, some web designers know about SEO, so you're in good hands with them. They'll be able to give you that advice. Some don't have much of an idea, so they will call in a consultant like myself. But sometimes businesses come straight to me. They already have a website. They want to make it more efficient for the user and that sort of thing, or they want it to rank more effectively for long-term keywords, or just drive more traffic, really. So you can use someone like myself at any point, really. It doesn't have to be at the start of a website. And yeah, I mean, price again, you pay for what you get, really. You know, it doesn't have to be expensive. You can find people in the Philippines that will do similar sort of work, and their work ethic's really good compared to a lot of the UK agencies. So there are options out there, and you can go to places like Odesk and you can find professional freelancers that do that sort of thing. So yeah, you don't have to pay over the odds for it. So just be aware, really, of what's going on.
So it's about picking up the bits which are relevant to you. I mean, you talk about the Philippines. The advantage with having different time zones, presumably, is depending on the size of your company, you can be optimizing 24 hours a day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I work with companies where they pass the baton over to a different country every day. So it's constantly being worked on. It's constantly being evolved, and bigger companies work with projects like that. You know, so it's not just left to UK timeframes.
Could you, I mean, again, this is thinking way beyond probably what's capable. Can you actually do time-sensitive optimization? So could what you optimize at night be different from your daytime?
Not really, because Google indexes. You don't have a clear idea of when Google's indexing what, so
Right.
you can't just sort of switch between the two as and when you want, because it's dependent on Google. But if you're going to try and do two separate things, something totally black and white, a bit of a contrast to each other, probably a different domain would be worthwhile considering, or at least a sub-brand. More and more companies seem to be breaking into sub-brands now.
Right. I'm thinking out of the box. I wonder if you could have a website which completely changed and thus had a complete different look and feel. You can't you? Different times of the day and night.
Yeah. I mean, there are certain search engines that do reflect different moods depending on what time of the day you're looking at the screen. I mean, the software that you can have that reflects the light atmosphere and that sort of thing. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, you can target your website to flick between campaigns and promotions and that sort of thing as and when. It's not really reflective on Google, but if you want to run certain promotions, you can set them over for midnight or whatever and turn campaigns off. So yeah, anything within your website's within your control. Yeah.
I tell you, it's exciting. If you just know how to do everything, you're just going to be minted, aren't you, on this one? Martin, what's coming in on the feed tonight?
Well, lots coming in, but we can't tweet anything now because we are officially in jail. Oh, it's happened again. It's that time of day again.
Actually, look, hang on. I see this quite often when you look at some of the other hours. How many tweets does that mean you've sent?
Oh, I don't have a clue how many. It depends on how Twitter's feeling that night. Sometimes you can go through fine. Sometimes you just tweet too much and they go, nah, I've had enough of you. Thank you very much.
It's a bit of an achievement, though, I've got to say.
Oh, yeah.
Well done, and you've done it with 5 minutes to spare as well.
Indeed.
Right, so what's coming in that's not being retweeted?
Right, MJB Food Service, they're catering. They've got a catering food show in Newton Abbot Racecourse on Thursday. I know we have a lot of people that do catering that listen to us. So if you don't already know about it, you do now. Check that out.
Oh, it's the big cake show this weekend at West Point as well, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and we're supposed to do an announcement as to who's won it.
Right, we'll do that in a minute then.
We'll have to do that in a minute.
Okay.
Grandpa Frank's, they're trading at the Royal William Yard on Easter Sunday. So Grandpa Frank's, you should be talking to MJB. Oaky Soapy Soap. They got lemon and lime and poppy seed soap for sale, and they're promoting that tonight. And PIRL 225, they do GPS safety communications for anything that valuable that moves. So there you go.
Oh, wow. So you could tag your mobile phone or your
I don't know about mobile phone, but like your car, your boat, your
Dog.
trailer, your dog maybe.
Yeah. Okay, maybe a dog.
GPS tagging for a dog. Again, we're going way off. You can actually get like cameras now, can't you, for your pets? You can find out what your cat does when it leaves the house.
Yeah, exactly.
It goes quite interesting. Well,
Yeah.
it's quite interesting. It's the kind of thing that would send you to sleep, isn't it?
Well, unless it's stealing money out of your purse or something.
That's very true.
That'd be handy to know.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, what else?
Right, so Next Route Style, if you need any new equipment, vehicles or machinery and you want to pay monthly, then give them a tweet.
Former guests on the show, we need to get them back in, actually. I tell you what, we'll get them in. It's the budget, isn't it, on Wednesday this week. We'll get them in and find out what the impacts are going to be.
Oh, that'll be an interesting
we'll get
one.
them back in, yeah.
And 123 Pools, they've got any advice out there in Torbay for dealing with solicitors? Their shop purchase is such a slow process. So they're having a few troubles. So if you can give them a bit of a helping hand, then do get in touch with them. Dot's Pantry John is raspberry fudge white chocolate and it's lovely. That looks lush. Now that does look good.
That looks amazing.
Took
Yeah.
57 minutes before someone mentioned the C word. Didn't it? Really?
Cake. It's got to be cake.
Dear, oh dear.
And then I'm going to hijack it because I've got a few thank yous to do.
Okay.
We're promoting our conference at the moment on the 17th of April, as you know. That's going to be over in Brixham. It's going to be a great conference for anyone starting out on social media and anyone that's already in, because it's going to be a great networking opportunity as well. So it's been sponsored already by Westwood Housing, the Herald Express, Outset Torbay, Winfields and Speeder Limited. They've all signed up to sponsor 3 delegates from the voluntary sector and outset startup businesses. If anyone else would like to sponsor that, then please get in touch. Otherwise, if you want to come along yourself, it only costs £35 and that's for the whole day, including lunch and 2 workshops.
I'm sure there'll be some cake there as well.
Oh, I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be we're hoping that's going to be a great conference, first of many, and we're going to see what we can do with it, and we're hoping a lot of people from TorbayHour will come along with us.
Brilliant. contact details for that?
So just us at TorbayHour, at Torbay_hour. You can find out more at torbayhour.co.uk/on the edge.
Have you got the details of the winner for the cake?
I'm looking at that now, so if you
while
two have a
do
quick
that,
chat for 5 minutes.
Martin, thank you very much for coming in and
quite
talking
right.
SEO. I think we've demystified some of it. Certainly,
I
I'm
hope so.
a little bit more clued up now.
Well, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to tweet me or get in touch if they have anything, because I know it is technical. So, yeah.
Okay, your
Shout
contact details are...
info at Martin McIver, which is MartinMciver.co.uk.
Easy as that. Well, thank
Yeah.
you very much for coming in.
No, thanks for having
And
me.
demystifying a bit of SEO. Don't forget, if you want to listen to it back, you can find us on the YouTube channel. All you do is go along to youtube.com, search for the Torbay Hour, and you can listen to the entire back catalogue of shows. That would be one guaranteed way of sending you to sleep, probably.
Indeed.
We still need to, and Ange, we need to sort out this podcasting routine so people can take us on holiday with us as well.
Oh, we're looking into loads of things for it.
All right. Have you got cake winners?
Do me a favour and just say stop anytime now.
Stop.
Okay, so the winner is Joe Dixon. So I shall be in touch, Joe, and we shall give you those tickets.
Joe Dixon, congratulations. Enjoy the Big Cake Show at West Point. If you want to find out all the details of that, bigcakeshow.com has all the details. We will see you there. I'm desperately hoping to go actually on Sunday as well.
Get in
They
touch.
mentioned free cake. Once you've got through the door, there's free cake. That's it. The hour is nearly up. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next Monday night, just after 8 o'clock. It is Torbay Hour Radio Show. Oh, and don't forget, tell a friend.
The Torbay Hour Radio Show, brought to you by the Babacom Inn Christmas Party Night.